Okay, good evening then everyone. Thanks for joining us for the online virtual open evening today. This is the School of Sport open evening. You're going to hear from myself, Charlie Jenkins. I'm a lecturer at the level 2 and level 3 and also coordinator at level 2. You're also going to hear from Emma Harcourt a little bit later, who again lectures across all of the different programmes and is the sports science coordinator. And then later on, you'll hear from Andy Balderson as well, who lectures across all levels into HE and is coordinator for the level 3 sport courses.
Passionate about sport? Learn all about coaching techniques, nutrition, rehabilitation, fitness, performance and more. Study sport and exercise science at Blossomfield campus in our state-of-the-art facilities. Study the likes of anatomy for sport and fitness, sports massage, sports psychology, leadership in sport and sports development. Our outstanding tutors will support you throughout and give you a real insight into the range of career options available. Progress onto university or into employment. You can even study for your sports degree right here. Discover your future at Solihull College and University Centre.
Okay, so we've had a brief introduction towards the School of Sport so far. The next video is going to be a virtual tour, just outlining some of the particularly great facilities that you have at the college. And it's about a minute long, so I'll let you watch that to begin with. So you'll see there we've got access to some great facilities here at the college, both indoor and outdoor, which you'd use throughout a variety of lessons within your curriculum programme. So moving forward into our teaching team, Phil Trello heads the school to begin with, and then you'll see a range of different staff, including Emma, Andy and myself. We've got a range of different levels of expertise, different areas that we're passionate about, and we've got a range of different real world sort of staff at the moment as well with us, practicing things such as coaching, sports management, sports massage and so on.
Okay, so my name's Andy, as Charlie's also just introduced me. So I'm going to start off with the BTEC Level 3 courses that we offer at the college. So starting at the Level 3 extended certificate qualifications that we offer. So they are both different pathways, so coaching or gym instructing. So that works towards becoming a coach, a multi-sports coach at the end of the 2 years that you would do with us here, or a gym instructor and personal trainer at the end of the 2 years that you would do with us here. Entry requirements for those, so in terms of your GCSEs, that the large majority of you that will be sitting into the new year, those are 4 GCSEs at grades 4 and above. and that ideally would include English and maths. But at that level, we do offer English and maths as resits as well during the year. Okay. That moves on, as I said, it's a 2-year program. Okay, and that overall, after the 2 years with us, is a diploma overall in either coaching or personal training, and that would be equivalent to 2 A levels at that stage. Okay, that does offer a direct route into employment. Okay, so both of those 2 qualifications, either coaching or gym instructing now, will give you at the end of the 2 years a qualification that you can go and take and get employment with. So either as a coach, multi-sports coach, as I said earlier, or as a personal trainer, so direct employment. And you can also progress on to higher education should you wish to. So it attracts UCAS points and allows you to progress on to those. The next level 3 that we offer is at the foundation diploma stage. So again, that's in year 1, part of a 2-year program. Slightly higher entry criteria, same 4 GCSEs, grades 4 and above, but that must include English and maths. Okay, so you have to have both English and maths to enter onto that program. That moves into the 2nd year, which is an extended diploma in sports. This pathway that we offer here is more down the sport and coaching type of pathway, so more about those who would progress on to becoming coaches later down the line, perhaps at that point, equivalent to 3 A levels. And again, with this, it's a slightly different exit point in that it doesn't offer direct routes into employment. It does offer direct access to university, higher education, and then into careers such as sports coaching, teaching, health and fitness, and leisure, and so on. Okay, so. And then sports science. Okay, so we've got the sports science pathway. So similar to the sports, you'll see on the comparison of the 2 there, both foundation diplomas in year 1. Slightly different with science is the entry requirements are 4 and above at GCSE, so 4 GCSEs, 4 and above. That must include English, maths, and science at this point. Okay, and again progresses on to a 2nd year, which is an extended diploma, and as you can see, it's a sport and exercise science extended diploma, equivalent to 3 A levels. Slightly different career pathways generally, though, with those. University and higher education still available, and into things like sports scientist, sports therapy, those kind of more sciencey elements of sport. Okay, so on the sports pathway, so what we're looking at, the types of units that you'll study are in front of you now on the slide. Okay, and slight difference now over the last couple of years with these is that they attract external examinations. Okay, so around about 20% of what you do in each year is assessed externally with exams. And you can see that the anatomy, physiology, fitness training program, both external exams, but you'll also study internally assessed units around fitness testing, professional development, practical team sports, and so on. And you can see from what I said earlier on about the different pathways, this has more of a leadership and coaching angle to it. Okay, so you can see where the different pathways are going. Just some achievement. We quite often get asked about how well students do on our programs, what they sort of how our success rates are and achievement rates and so on. And you can see that in front of you, the level 3 foundation diploma in sports. Outstanding achievement rate of 97%, which is 12% above the national averages. So we're above what is expected and what is the average across the nation. So we are well above that. And 1920 overall achievement rates in sport were 2% above national average for all sports courses. So we are consistently above national averages. Okay, so the first qualifications that were presented to you on the previous slides, the diploma in sport, fitness and personal training, and you can see a bit more visually here about what the employment opportunities are. So in the first year, on the left hand side, the level 2 gym instructor, at the end of the first year, you'll be a qualified level 2 gym instructor on this program. So end of the second year, you'll be a qualified level 3 personal trainer. Okay, and the you'll be able to register yourself with REPS, which is the body behind the fitness industry. It's where everything is sort of, those qualifications are recognised, and that can get you into direct employment. You'll be able to go out and get a job as a gym instructor or personal trainer with one of a leisure facility or a gym in your local environment, local area. And similarly with the diploma in sports coaching development, again, direct employment route, you can see SIMSPA recognised qualifications. The end of year 1, you'll be a level 2 multi-sports assistant coach. And at that point, you'll be able to then get some work, perhaps in your spare time, your part-time, as a multi-sports coach with a company that maybe goes into schools and offers those kind of sessions for school children and so on. Perhaps work at the weekend when you can operate in local sports facilities and so on as well. End of year 2, level 3 multi-sports coach. You'll be a qualified multi-sports coach. And again, at that point, that says that you are a multi-sports coach, but what you can add on to that in your next stage of your education and training is to become a level 1, level 2 qualified coach in your chosen sport. So something like football, rugby, tennis, and so on. You have to add those on to your CV, if you like.
Okay, thanks, Andy. Evening, everyone. My name's Emma. As Charlie introduced, I head up the sports and exercise science part of our department within sport. So as Charlie said as well, we all have our specialist areas. So this is a different pathway compared to sport, although it's the same level in terms of the entry and exit requirements. It's just got that specialist tier to it, which is science-based. So this qualification is it does require the science GCSE. Oh, the light's gone off. The science GCSE as well, because it is very heavy, as you would imagine, on the science element. So same with the RQF sport programme, that there are 2 external exams, and one being anatomy and the other one being sports and exercise psychology. So they are externally assessed. You sit those in the normal exam conditions. And then the other units that I mentioned there, research methods, fitness testing, coaching and massage, are internally assessed. So they are 100% coursework based. But it is about 22% of your final grade of this year is based on your exam results, but that can be boosted with those coursework units. So it's not it's a bit of both, different methods of assessments, and obviously you've still got the practical element with the coaching and the massage. Fingers crossed we can get back to doing some sports massage soon, because obviously at the moment that's a little bit difficult. But yeah, as we said, the same entry requirements, so your 4 GCSEs, English, Maths and Science, and 1 other. This is our 2nd year of running this programme. It's only been rolled out nationally for the last 3 years, so we're into our 2nd year. So we had our first set of results last year, and with 92.5% had outstanding achievement rate. So for a first year programme, that's a real achievement, and we're very proud of that. 13.5% above the national average of 79. So as Charlie said right at the beginning, the advantage of having specialist staff and good teaching and the great facilities we have, that helps towards those achievement rates, definitely. Just a little bit on destination and success, because again, a lot of the questions we get asked based around not only the courses that we run and the options that you have is what happens to our students and how do they progress into industry or into employment and so on. So there's just a couple of examples there for you. So Rhys McNally was a sports and exercise science at FE at level 3. He progressed with us, and Andy's going to talk to you a bit more about that in a minute, how you can progress almost from level 2 right up to level 3 and achieve a full degree with us here at Solihull College, and he also did that alongside then becoming a full-time footballer at Solihull Moors. And then an example there is a student from last year. She achieved a D-star profile, which, 3 A-level equivalent is very impressive. She's then gone on now to do level 3 sports and exercise science to Birmingham University, studying sports and exercise science, a BSc.
Okay, so A lot of you might be thinking, what happens if I don't achieve those grades that have been mentioned as the entry requirements before? Generally, what we'd look at is the Level 2 Cambridge Technical Diploma in Sport, which is our Level 2 qualification that we offer. The Level 2 sport course is a 1-year course, and after that, you'd generally be looking at progressing either into Level 3 or another option that I can discuss a little bit later on. We do have entry requirements at Level 2, just like Level 3, but with the case of this, we'll be looking at 2 GCSEs with grade 3s, ideally including either English or maths. In terms of English and maths, resits are available, so if you haven't achieved a grade 4, you will have to continue and work towards that until you get your grade 4, and they can be worked around your programme here at Level 2. Once you've completed your 1-year course, the diploma is the equivalent to 4 GCSEs, and hopefully alongside the maths and English that you'd achieve there, you'd have a total of 6 GCSEs. Usually the progression is to Level 3, and most of the time that will be within sports, but there are other Level 3 options here at college as well. There are options around apprenticeships to be considered. So what do we cover in terms of units at Level 2? There's a variety of different things that we cover. The first thing to raise is that they are all internally assessed units. So we will put together an assignment schedule, which will have a whole host of different types of assessments, whether they be presentations, Word documents and reports, observational type things where you'll deliver small sessions, and so on. And just to pick out a few different units there, we have practical sport, so looking at things like rules, regulations and scoring systems, the tactics and techniques. We'll be looking at things like anatomy and physiology, so the body and how it works, how it responds to exercise, all the way through to actually planning and leading sports activities. So again, just considering some successful students. So we had a student by the name of Louis Badham last year who achieved a distinction star at Level 2, who's progressed internally onto one of the qualifications that Andy spoke about earlier on. So the first year being the Level 3 extended certificate in fitness and personal training, and he's really enjoying that so far. Again, considering some achievements. So within the Level 2 programme, we had really good achievement last year at a rate of 90.6%, which is almost 6% above the national average.
Okay, so part of what we can offer here as well at Solihull College is we have the 2 football academies. We'll talk about the women's first. So the Women's Football Academy, we're very fortunate that we have a partnership with Birmingham City Ladies, and they have their academy with us, and we provide all their educational provision. So how that works is that we work with the academy, and they provide the training sessions, which are about 3 sessions a week with a recovery and with 1 game. Obviously in normal times, that's how it would work. And we then timetable their academic studies around these training sessions and recovery sessions, etc. And it is something that, with regards to you being part of that team and being able to trial for their academy, then you do that directly to Birmingham City, and the email address is there at the bottom if you want to jot that down. So you can apply if you're already playing football with another team and you think that this might be a great opportunity for you, then take that email down, drop Paul an email, and he'll be able to direct you. The trials for next academic year will not be till February. And so that hopefully that gives you enough time, and we can hopefully get football back into college again by then. The other academy we have is the Men's Academy. We don't have any direct partnerships with any club at the moment, but we have obviously our college academy. Now, the difference between the men's and the women's that we have here is that you would apply for the course first and have your hopefully get your conditional offer with one of the courses that we've talked about this evening. You get that place, and then you can then trial for our Men's Academy. But it's similar kind of setup in as much as we provide the coaches with the training sessions, and we timetable around those training sessions. but the difference being is that it's through the college, not through an external provider. But so you're applying for the course first and foremost, and the football is an added benefit. If you're interested in doing that as well, when we can keep you up to date with when those trials will be and how that's going to work, then again, an email address is Phil is our head of school, so he will respond to you with dates and keep you up to date with what's happening with our football academy into next academic year.
Okay, so we just want to talk a little bit about progression, because again, these are the kinds of questions that that generally applicants want to know. They want to know about what they're here for, but then also what the next steps are, the next opportunities. One of the first questions that you get asked probably at interview, but also then throughout the first year of the course, is what are your thoughts on what you want to do on a long-term basis. That's not to expect that you have the answer and that you have those answers about that, but you will have some ideas about what you want to do, and it will help us to point you in the right direction, put you on the right program, and hopefully that will start to come together as a career pathway and a pathway that you'll like to sort of enjoy following and so on. Okay, so apologies for all the arrows on there, but follow them round as best you can. It does make sense. So let's assume at this stage that you'll start at the top of the screen, either at level 2 sport, as Charlie talked about a few minutes ago, or at a level 3 area, which is where I talked about those courses on there. This progression is particularly directed towards employment. So again, a lot of students join us and want to go straight into employment when they've finished their 2 years of final education. They don't want to go on to higher education, university, and that's all fine. We're a further education college, so we're not just about university and higher education. We are about getting people into employment, getting them into work, and so on. So the routes that you've got there. So if you start at level 2, you then progress on to the level 3. As you can see from the level 3, what we're looking for is that during your time, right in the middle there, is that during your time here, the 2 years that you have with us at level 3, that you would gain some voluntary work experience in that field. So ideally as a volunteer coach, or at a gym that's local to you, where you can get a bit of work experience and so on. What that will do is then set you up nicely with the additional piece of the jigsaw, if you like, that you need. You've got your qualification, but you also need some experience to go with that. And hopefully then at the bottom, you will then be able to gain some part-time or full-time employment around the 2 areas, either coaching or personal training, fitness. The other then progression route naturally for us is into higher education and university. Just to talk to you through what we offer here at the college. So again, you may or may not be aware that we are a university centre, and that the college is actually partnered with a number of different universities around the country, offering university-based courses for students in different areas across the college, so different vocational areas. From a sports perspective, we offer a progression route through higher education with Oxford Brookes University. So in partnership with them, we offer the following that's on the screen for you. Year 1 and Year 2 is a foundation degree in sports science, fitness and coaching. That gives you the first 2 years of a degree at level 4 and level 5. And as you can see, that is a degree, it's a foundation degree that covers those 3 areas. So sports science, fitness and coaching. Quite broad, offers a bit of something for everybody, for every taste, if you like. So if you want to become maybe a nutritionist, or you want to become a coach, and there's those kind of options within the group, they're catered for. They're progression routes that you can take in this particular circumstance. The final year is what we call a top-up year, if you like. It's a 3rd year where you complete the final year of your degree. That's at level 6, and that's a Bachelor of Science, Sports Science, Fitness and Coaching. And what you hopefully can see is that the 2 are the same in terms of the pathway: Sports Science, Fitness and Coaching. So it works its way through the 3 years until you finish with a degree. Okay, so in theory you can, and it has been done. We have got students who've progressed all the way from level 2. They've joined us from school, maybe with a low number of GCSEs, perhaps didn't do so great at school, but they find that further education and that college suits them far more than school did. And they come into their own, get their level 2, progress all the way through. And we've had people that students that have come through and they've finished their degree all the way through from level 2. So it is possible. Okay, so that's another one of the progression routes. Okay, so other than Q&A and so on, questions at the end, that concludes the webinar for this evening and the introduction to the sports area. Just to go through how to apply, some of you may well have applied already, which is great, and those will be in hand, those applications. Easiest way to apply is to go online, go to the college website, search for the course that you're interested in, and apply. That will be all processed. You'll receive a telephone interview, so that will be all communicated to you. At that stage, we'll make you a conditional offer or refer to an alternative course and so on. And then, in theory, you will then join us in September. Okay, but I think at the bottom, that last bit is all that you need to do at this stage. Your GCSEs are the pinpoint of everything that all the doors that will open for you, depending on what you decide to do. So if sport's not your thing and you decide that's not the case, the same thing will apply. Your GCSEs open up those doors, and they open up the different doors that you'll want to go through. So hard work is the one thing that you'll need to make sure you're doing over the next few months. And we thank you for your time. Thank you for dialing in, and thank you for coming to the webinar. If you do have any questions, you need to pop those into the Q&A that's at the bottom of your screen, I believe, and they'll pop up for us and we'll answer them.
So yes, so the difference between the extended diploma sport and sports science. So they are both equivalent to 3 A levels over the 2 years, and it's just the pathway that's different. So the entry requirements are the same. It's more about what you're interested in at this stage. So it's more about how you see, are you good at science? Do you like science? Do you like the science behind and research, etc.? So that would be the more of the sports science element, or the sport pathway is more about the fitness and the coaching and how. So if we were looking at it in terms of a team, if you were working in the sports pathway, you would be the coach or the manager or the PT working with them to help improve performance. The sports scientist works behind the scenes a little bit more, helping to get that research, that analysis, that data to help inform the athletes and inform the coaches on improving performance. So that's the kind of difference. But in terms of level, they are both the same, to 1.5 A levels in the foundation diploma year 1 and 3 A level equivalent in year 2.
So I think it's just worth raising the question that's just been asked that I've just answered. I'm not sure if everybody can see these questions answered, so I'll go through that one. There was a question with regards to, is there a deadline to apply by? So no, there isn't particularly a deadline, as long as the whole process is completed by next academic year. I guess the benefit with completing that process earlier on is it will give you an opportunity to secure your conditional offer, and also you'll have a better understanding of what your options are going forward. That's all I'd say on that.
Okay, I can answer the sports massage question as well. At the moment, we are not able to do sports massage for obvious reasons, but normally with the sports massage unit, how you are assessed and marked is you have lots of practice and you practice on each other. There are coursework, there are assessments based around that, and then you have a final practical assessment, which is assessed is like an observation type assessed. So that's how we would normally do that, but obviously in the current climate that's not happening. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll all be able to do that again from September next year. Do you mind if I'll jump in and answer the physio answer, shall I, as well? Is that all right? So,
yeah.
So for physio therapy, yes, it is possible. We did have two students last year went on to a physiotherapy degree from doing the sports and exercise science extended diploma with us, but it is extremely competitive with A levels. Although our BTEC qualifications are very much on par with A levels now, particularly with that exam element, the universities are still catching up with that a little bit, so there is a little bit of competitive an outlook from the university's point of view, but you can absolutely, with a good grade profile and good work experience in physiotherapy, you can apply for physiotherapy.
Okay, so just jumping back to the question, so do you have any other sports teams? So in terms of academies, no, there's the male and female football academies. In typical years where coronavirus hasn't been an issue and we wouldn't have to be in these secure environments, we have an area called the Student Enrichment Department who would put on various different sports sessions, and they'd have sports teams, and hopefully, all being well, that's something that we can get back to quite soon.
Andy, you answer any?
Yeah, I'll go entry requirements. So we've got one about entry requirements, just to clarify. Just so that everyone knows, the webinar is being recorded, so this will be made available to you as an attendee at a later point. Entry requirements for level 3, we're basically looking for 4 GCSEs at grade 4 and above. Okay, it will then depend in terms of your level 3 entry point as to which course you go on, will depend whether you've got your maths and English. So if you miss one of your maths or English, you'll go on to the National Certificate, Extended Certificate program. If you get your maths and your English, you'll go on to the Foundation Diploma. Okay, so as a basic overview, if we're talking about level 3, then you're looking for 4 GCSEs at grade 4 and above. Hopefully that helps with that one.
And then the massaging compulsory, yeah, the massage course. So if you're doing sports science and that's the pathway you choose, and sports massage is the unit, then yes, it is compulsory, because most therapy courses or sports science courses or some courses you could go on to study further, that therapy element is important. So, but trust me when I say that most people fear it and then end up quite enjoying it. It's a good unit.
Okay, so how many days a week would you attend the school or college, and how long for? So at the moment, we have to work effectively across 2 days. So students attend college for 2 full days, and that's from 9 till 4 o'clock typically. And then they also attend online at home to complete remote learning as well. In a typical year, it would realistically be anywhere from 3 to 4 days. Of course, if you've got to do maths or English on top of your sport program, that would mean you'd be towards the higher end of that range. Okay, so are there any more questions? Okay, so is there any work experience? We do request that all students take part in work experience here at Solihull College. For each academic year within the sport programs, we request 30 hours of work experience. Now, that is work experience that you should go away and source yourselves. We do have tutorials to support you within that. So we look at how to apply for job roles. We look at cover letters and CVs. So there is an expectation for you to be able to go away and gain valuable industry relevant work experience, yes.
If you are applying for a course and you think of any questions between now and then by all means jot them down and you can ask them at your interview as well. We'll be able to have that, particularly if they're specific to you and your experience, then we can answer those in your interview. No, you don't need work experience to apply. That's something that we do with you once you've enrolled. You don't need to have that already in place. It's part of your programme. Thank you. Application to place ratio. Oh, I don't know that answer. Unfortunately, because it depends on the outcome of your GCSEs, we have obviously a lot of applications. And some students, because you're not entirely sure whether you want to study sport, or maybe it's media or IT that you're interested in, and we do recommend that you go have interviews and find out about all those different courses, because then you've got that informed, you can make that informed decision. So in terms of the applications we do have a lot for that reason. It doesn't necessarily mean that all those applications then turn into places, but I don't think what the college will do is, if there's a high interest in courses, then we try and accommodate those places. How many training sessions do boys academy? So yes, the boys can do gym sessions as well. It might be part of what the coach might decide, that maybe your strength is an area that you need to work on, or then that can be part of the gym sessions, but it's generally your traditional training sessions out on the AstroTurf. Okay, has anyone got any last minute questions? I think the time coming up for the time, so thank you very much for everyone for attending. Oh, we got one more. The facilities, so go on Charlie, you do that one.
Yeah, if you do watch the video back, and I know that will be posted and made available to everybody, there is a video right at the start, but in a nutshell, in terms of our practical environments, we have a very well equipped gym, we have a huge sports hall spanning 5 badminton courts, we have a performance lab, we have a massage clinic, a sports therapy clinic, access to a group exercise studio, and access to an AstroTurf as well. So we have a great range of facilities that you can access. Just answering the question there with regards to being able to use the gym after college hours to train. Unfortunately, at the moment, in the current climate that we're in, our gym isn't open to non-essential sessions. So because of that, I would say no, but hopefully next year we'll get back to norm. And then yes, it is something that you'd be able to pay to use as per a typical gym. The leisure centre, all of these, all of the facilities that you've seen today are the college's own facilities, yeah. Okay, so I think we're going to end it there. So thank you everybody for coming in this evening. There's a couple more. Thank you.
How long is it? Yeah, I think the process is quite quick. We only do our interviews once a month. So if you happen to apply just after our recent round of interviews, then it might take a few weeks. But usually within the month, you'll get the confirmation and the time for your interview. And then you'll get your offer or referral at that time, and you'll be able to make the decision. And then all it is depending on your GCSE results. Thank you.
Okay then, so yeah, thank you everybody for joining us this evening. Hopefully that's answered some questions and supported you in making an informed choice. We hope to see some applications coming in soon, so we get to meet you and speak to you. Thank you very much, and I'll say bye. Thank you.
Thank you.